Yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, I mean, we've gone through an evolution, right? In a number of ways, perhaps more than one evolution, I guess. And because of that, naturally, you've received a lot of criticism over the years, and I think it's only natural. Of course, when you're one way, then you change to something else, and of course, the people who are still upon the old way, they're still going to criticize you. But then perhaps even some of the people who feel like, okay, you're on the new way of thinking. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you even about, like, not trying to put you on the spot or anything, but I remember some years ago when you first came out and publicly said that you are no longer Salafi. Now I didn't understand that to mean that, okay, that you repudiated everything that you used to believe in, right? But it seemed that you had something in particular in mind about that. What does that really mean to say, okay, I'm no longer Salafi? What were you trying to disassociate yourself from?
Yeah, so I don't really view it as dissociation as much as moving on.
Okay.
That's like the word I've always used, is that I've kind of moved on.
Okay.
Dissociation means I'm repudiating. Dissociation means I'm antagonistic.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And I don't view myself at all as antagonistic to the movement or to my teachers, astaghfirullah, or to the university, astaghfirullah. I'm very, very thankful to Allah that I studied where I studied. I'm very thankful to Allah to have interacted with a whole, galaxy of ulama, alhamdulillah. And, many of them were senior in their movement. Shaykh ibn Uthaymin, Shaykh ibn Baz, Shaykh ibn Mujibrin, one-on-ones with them, tazkiyahs from some of them. I mean, I'm very grateful to Allah. So I'm not repudiating the movement. I'm not, antagonistic. But it's a phase that I was in, and I'm thankful to Allah. But I disagree with certain seminal aspects, of that movement. And in that disagreement, it wouldn't be fair for me to basically say that, I am faithful to even what my own teachers taught me. And now it's up to other people how they want to interpret that. From my side, I have nothing but respect for my teachers, every single one of them, even those that I disagree with. They taught me. I owe a lot to them. I'll never be able to repay them back. But see, being pious is not the same as being correct.
Yes.
Because in every strand of Islam, the strands you studied from, the strands Deobandi studied from, they're all pious people, right? They can't all be correct because they're mutually exclusive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't all be correct in the specifics of Aqidah because you're all negating one another.
Right.
But you will find genuine piety. And so, a Deobandi, a Sufi, Ahl Hadith, Jamati, whatever they might be, or Malaysia, Timbuktu, whatever it might be, you will find bona fide, genuine, righteous, muttaqi, zahid, ubad. You will find them in every single strand of mainstream Islam, right? And I respect all of them now. So the main difference, and I've said this gently in the past, and I do understand, maybe later on I need to deconstruct this and more, but the main difference now is that after having studied in my own personal life, and I'm not asking anybody else to follow what I'm doing, I can, from my own perspective, say that I believe that all of the strands of mainstream Islam are attempting to reach al-haq, the truth with a capital T.
Yeah.
And I respect that. But to claim that any one of them has actually achieved the truth with a capital T, I don't subscribe to that, right? So for me, I have no qualms for every single issue to rethink and to look, and that's because I have to answer to Allah. There's no panel of human beings that I have to answer to. I have to answer to my Lord, right? So I don't mind. I have, alhamdulillah, 30 years of study. I have, in my eyes, I don't need to establish my credentials to anybody else. In my eyes, I have to answer to Allah. I have no problems restudying, rethinking through. And personally, because my specific specialty is theology, I really do not subscribe to a card-carrying, firqa anymore. I respect atheism, and I do think that has a lot of truth to it. But even this, and if you want to go technical, we can. What do you mean? Which version of atheism? Do you mean Abu Ya'las? Do you mean Ibn Qudamas? Do you mean Ahmad ibn Hanbal's? Do you mean, Ad-Darimi's? Do you mean Ibn Taymiyyah's? There's a whole strand, right? And every advanced students know this. If you want to talk about Ash'arism, which version of Ash'arism?
Right. Yeah.
There's a massive difference between Bayhaqi and between Al-Razi, and the difference between the two, honestly, between Al-Bayhaqi and Al-Razi, it is actually less than between, let's say, Ibn Qudama and Al-Bayhaqi, for example, right? Where Salafism ends and Ash'arism begins, right? That little gap is actually less than between certain strands of Ash'arism, right?
Right.
I see the human attempt
Mhm.
to extrapolate for the
Right.
deeper questions.
Yes. Right.
And because of this,
Mhm.
I'm no longer wed to what an alim in 3rd century Baghdad said,
Mhm.
or in 7th century Nishapur. They're
Mhm.
all great people. I respect them. I'm not obliged to just because somebody said it. Yeah, I'm not obliged to follow. And so,
Right.
as I said, I've moved on. I'm not antagonistic. I just
Right.
it doesn't it's not the defining characteristic for me what a particular alim said that I must follow that alim. It's
Yeah.
utmost respect. That's
Yeah.
their opinion, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.